Welcome to this new episode of The Disabled Life. The purpose of this podcast is to tell people how I live my life. The name I'm using on the podcast now is The Disabled Guy, because I felt that you needed to hear something as opposed to just my voice there. I'm a disabled male living in Florida with cerebral palsy. I'm here to tell you how I live my life and some of the volunteer work that I do and how I manage to do it with cerebral palsy. Without further ado, let's go into the episode. This episode tonight is not, I say again, is not from my perspective. This was a female friend that I met in high school, and she is also disabled. So her family thought they were doing the right thing, and that in helping, overprotecting her in her relationships. What I mean by that is, they would say, "Oh, don't talk to that person because that person is bad," or they would tell the person that she was bothering them when it wasn't true. And what she told me was the most aggravating thing was that she didn't know this. All of a sudden, people would start arguing with her, fighting with her, and relationships would stop happening. It would just be frustrating. It was not correct. So one day, So, this happened a couple of times. She made some mistakes, I got it. But she figured out what was going on. She said, "This can't be. Every time that I have a friendship, this happens. Almost every time this crap happens." So she goes, no. So she thinks about it for a minute. And then the next time it happened, no. She called. She asked the person, "Am I bugging you?" The person said, "No, you're not." So at that point, she goes, Okay. I know what's happening now. I get it. I understand it. So next thing, so then she figured out, and then she talked to the person that was not causing the problem to figure out how to handle the problem. That was something that she needed to do, and finally figured it out. It took 4 to 5 to 6 relationships to get screwed up with this. I'm sorry I can't use any names, but I don't got permission to do that. So, it's something that's difficult. I understand why some parents have to do it when people are not competent or have mental issues, for example, but I don't think they have issues. But for those of us that can handle it, for those of us like her that can handle myself, let it go through, and because what that does, instead of helping, it hurts. What I mean by hurts, it hurts because you, as parents, you can, and caregivers or family members, you can retard a relationship. You can retard learning how to do this. You can actually retard it. It is something that I know you mean well. I understand that. Parents, caregivers, I know. But don't do, if you need to do it because of emotional instability or stuff that's crazy, fine. Or stuff that they're doing wrong, I understand that. But when nothing is wrong, step back a little bit. It's that. It's frustrating because if you are emotionally okay to handle situations like that, it's not mean it's okay, it's nice to let your, because you know what'll happen eventually. They're gonna find a good friend, female or male, whatever the case may be. It does not matter. It's something that we need to do. Something as disabled people we need to do. Let me ask a rhetorical. When your able-bodied sibling, son or daughter, has a friendship, do you get involved in it? Do you cause problems for them? No, you do not. You allow them to deal with whatever it is going on. If there's a problem, there's a problem. If there isn't a problem, there isn't a problem. So I'm going to say that most disabled people can actually handle friendships. Some people maybe not, because they have disabilities and things of that nature. So I'm going to say this. It's something that as adults we need to learn how to do, and because it can be retarded. What I mean by retarded, I don't mean in the bad way. What I mean retarded meaning that a relationship could be, you may not know how to handle a relationship because this parent meaning well. I'm not saying it's wrong. Meaning well, they could be doing something that is hurting you. So my piece of advice, caregivers and parents, you go ahead and help when you need to. I'm not saying don't help. If they ask you for advice, if you see something going on that's weird or strange, go ahead and help. But don't get it, let the adult or young adult, even teenagers, handle and deal with these relationships, because that's how we live. As disabled people, like all members of the community, we all sit here and we all handle relationships as we go, and that's how we learn, by making mistakes. I'm not saying mistakes are not a good thing. In a way they're not, because it hurts and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a problem. We don't like to make mistakes like that, but things happen, but that's how we learn. Like, they let you make a mistake with a relationship. Let us to handle it, because you'll learn. So I'm going to say it to you. This is a topic that's close to my heart, because I talk about things in the disabled community and things of this nature. I understand that there's some of us that are not capable of holding relationships the way a normal person would. I'm going to include a neurotypical person like I am in that. Oh, and I forgot to state, the person that I'm talking about is neurotypical. It has no Down syndrome, has no autism, etc. No mental delay, what used to be called retardation. I don't like that, or Mongoloidism. But it's true. You have to. What I say is let your person do their thing. If they ask you for advice, for example, let me give you this example. If it was a male and they had a girlfriend for the first time, and they advice, go ahead and they ask you for advice, go ahead and give it. But if nobody asks you for advice, don't give it, because it's going to harm. Because sometimes it's going to harm instead of helping. It's something that I've learned. Don't give advice when you don't need to, when people don't ask for it. Even though people might think that they need to do it. People might think that, and all this, and people might think, and whatever. So we need to, as adults, we need to do our thing. As adults, we need to do our own thing. Because we're adults. I do things. I volunteer. I have friendships. I have all these things. But sometimes there are problems that occur, because they do occur. But You learn from them how to handle them. It's something that's important to do in life. It's something that I had to learn how to navigate. Late in life, yes. Because of my disability, I was a little bit sheltered. But late in life, I learned how to handle such and such a thing. It's not something I wanted to do this late in life, but you know what? Here we are. So let your young adult or even adult person handle this situation. It's important for them to do that. Very, very important to them, and I agree. It's not something that we need to do. One thing I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna talk about something happened here. When I was in high school, I don't know what year I was in my school. No, it could have been my sophomore year. No, it had to be my junior year, because we did ninth grade in middle school. So when I graduated, it was when I went to middle school, it was 7th through 9th. Now it's 6th through 8th. Sixth grade is no longer in elementary school as of this recording. You have to go. It's elementary school is kindergarten through 5. That's what elementary school is, and 6 through 8 is in 6 through 8 is in middle school. Used to be called junior high, and 9 through 12, that's what it should be, is now high school. So let's talk about this one. There was a girl. This one was a girl. This one, I knew her. I'm not gonna use any names. She was Latin, She loved books. She loved school. So I can say overprotective. Her at high school age, the mom would dress her in frilly yellow dresses, like little children, like little girl, like a small little girl. I feel that hindered her. And another thing that she did this was respectful, but some teachers don't like it. They would call her ma'am. She would say hello to everybody in the world multiple times a day. She would do these things thinking that she was doing right things, but in a way she was not, because people would call her this derogatory name, would call her nerd. She would ask the teacher for homework. That annoyed the heck out of people, and I get it. It annoyed the heck out of me too, and I got mad a couple of times because she did this. So I'm telling you right now, no. So what they finally ended up doing is they put her on homebound, because I don't know how they did it, but it was not something that we wanted to do, but it had to be done because she had no friends. She was completely alienated because of the way she was raised. Nothing against the Latin, nothing against the Cuban community, but her mom was Cuban. She was an older mom, So anyway, it's something that I say do not. When possible, I say the word when possible. To qualify it, I say the word when possible. Do not overprotect your child, because you think you're doing the right thing, but you're harming your child or your young adult. And more a little kid, okay, can overprotect them, but a young adult, oh my God, yes, or an adult, do not overprotect. Even though people, as a disabled person, or mom, we feel like we have mom, and family wants to protect you, but it's not something that we need to happen because it's harmful. It's hard. It's not something that we need to do. So I say to you, that's my advice for today. I got on a long soapbox today, but I had a lot to say, and I had to give that story at the beginning so you would understand the context of what I was saying. With that, thank you for listening. You can follow me on the following platforms. You can follow me at Good Pods. You can leave comments, messages there. You can also follow me on Twitter at The Disabled Guy. And you can also listen to me on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, and many others. Once again, thank you for listening, and I'll also give you my email. My email is Kilo Echo 4 Kilo Echo Yankee, or KE4KEY@gmail.com. Once again, thank you, and thank you for your support, and I'll see you next week. And additionally, I have to redo my outro, because after I did my outro, I realized that you could leave a 5-star rating on Spotify. I would love you to do that. I'm sorry, not a 5-star. You can leave whatever rating you wish, and also if you are the first time listener to the podcast, or somebody that has never commented, you can actually leave me a message also on Apple Podcast, and my podcast is all on Good Pods there. So I would appreciate it if you do that. With that, I'll see you on Saturday with the next episode. Sorry, this is the Wednesday episode. Sorry.